In this episode of the Commodore Computer Show, we'll look at the new additions to the Commodore Computer Museum here in New Zealand, and we'll also look at the top 10 Commodore 64 games for September 1988, the top 10 Amiga games for September 1988, Commodore computers in the movies and on TV shows, and also we'll have heaps of giveaways, so watch out for those as well throughout the video. Let's get started right now. One of the things I would like to show straight away, because I'd like to have your input please, is this Commodore 64G. I'm assuming it's a Commodore 64G, it should be. It has the white keys, has the PEX characters in the front of the keys. It's made in West Germany, but on the back here, there's something that's got me a little bit confused, and hopefully you can help me out. I was expecting for it to say on the label, just here, C64 or maybe C64G, but it has C64C. Now, is that normal for Commodore 64G? Let me know in the comments below. I have no idea personally. Is this a Commodore 64G or is this another version of the bread box that I'm not too sure about? Let me know in the comments below. It'd be much appreciated. Okay, to celebrate the Commodore 64, I'm giving away a lot of things on this channel and on this video. So the first thing, I've got 10 issues of the New Zealand Retro magazine. Hopefully you can see that okay. Fantastic magazine written by Carl Burnett. Great magazine dealing with anything to do with Atari, Commodore, Nintendo, Fountain, Sega, and more. Okay, the reason why I'm giving this away is because there's it's got a two-page interview of yours truly about this channel, but also about what I'm trying to do here in New Zealand with the Commodore Computer Museum. So if you'd like to have a copy of this magazine, I've got 10 issues to give away. Type in the comments below NZ Retro. If there's 10 people interested, those 10 people will get a copy. If there's 20 people interested, obviously I'm going to have to do a drawing system, and I'll let you know in the comments below who are the winners as well, so everyone knows exactly who's won what. So first up, we've got music related items that have turned up. We have the color tone keyboard, which plugs straight into your joystick port. I've had this for quite some time, but I've included it in this collection just to show you this ever-expanding music collection for the Commodore 64, and this smaller keyboard from Sequential Music Mate. This is a 32 key keyboard. It has the exact same problem this one here has with this key, exact same key actually, funny enough. Now interestingly, Commodore promoted this as a 49 key keyboard, even though it has 61 keys. And yep, very, very dirty. But actually what I'll do, straight away I'm going to get into another giveaway. Now, so I have a box of Spring Fresh antibacterial wipes. I've used these for a couple of years now in cleaning every Commodore item that I have come into the Commodore Computer Museum. And the great thing about these is they get rid of smudges, they get rid of all sorts, obviously dust. Best thing about them is they're biodegradable, they're multi-purpose, they're antibacterial as well. So in this day and age, that could be a benefit as well with getting items in. So you know that they're going to kill 99.9% of the germs and stuff on those items. The great thing is they get rid of all the smudges and all the marks and then clean up all the Commodore items really, really well. And the company's actually sent me a box to give away. So I've got 12 of these packets of 80 wipes to give away. So if you're interested in getting these and trying them out on your retro gear, or any gear around the home, type in Spring Fresh in the comments down below. If more than 12 people are interested, I'll have to do a draw. Otherwise, if there's only 12 people interested, bang, you're going to get your packet of Spring Fresh antibacterial wipes. Now, a couple of other items that have turned up. Now, that's actually related to this one here, is the sound expander. And this one here comes with all the software. Plugs directly into your cartridge port. And the keyboard, the 61 key keyboard, plugs directly into the cartridge. Unlike the 32 key keyboard, which plugged into your joystick port or the color tone, this here gives the Commodore 64 9 voices. It pretty much makes the Commodore 64 sound better. That's the plan. It was a Yamaha chip. I can't remember the chip off the top of my head, but I'll put it down there somewhere down there what chip they used. So the next music related item that has come in is the Commodore Sound Sampler. Now the great thing about this, it was plugged into the cartridge port as well, of course. You could actually make your own sample of sound. Now admittedly it was only 1.4 seconds long. Maybe you could work around that, but that was the standard amount of recording of sound that you could actually make yourself with this little device. Let me know in the comments below actually, did you manage to make longer sound sampling with this device? Be interesting to know. A couple of other items that turned up as well was the Sound Studio software and also the FM Composer and Sound Editor software as well. Now I've got to an interesting one. You've all seen these overlay keyboards. There's two different types here. I'll just hold them up here so you can see them. We've got the Incredible Musical Keyboard and also the Commodore Music Maker. A little bit of controversy because both of these, if I open these up, you'll see look exactly the same. There's a reason for that. So we've got the Commodore Music Maker, also the Light and Sound Incredible Musical Keyboard. Look exactly the same, don't they? So the Commodore 2 show in Toronto, Canada in 1984, there was two booths and these guys were one booth and these guys are another booth. Someone pointed out to them that they were both there selling the exact same item. So these guys, Sight and Sound, went over to the booth where the Commodore Music Maker was and they were livid that they had produced the exact same item off the exact same mold. So even if you turned it around, they look exactly the same, don't they? So what the problem was is that they ended up sharing the exact same employee, and that employee worked on this initially, then they left the company and then worked for these guys. These guys met with these guys in the UK, these guys in America, and they asked to be able to license this product. So an agreement wasn't made, so these guys went out and copied the Incredible Musical Keyboard and made their own product. So the only difference between the two was the included music software. So you've played all the games on the A500 Mini. What other games can you play? Well, maybe there's a few old favourites on the top 10 Amiga games for September 1988, or maybe some potentially new favourites. So let's check them out right now. In September 1988, NXS wins the MTV Video Music Award. Steffi Graf of Germany wins her first US title and completes the Grand Slam. The Hollies' He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother hits #1 in the UK for 2 weeks, 19 years after its original release. And these were the top 10 selling Amiga games according to Gallup UK for the month. Coming in at number 10, Bar's Tale 2. If you didn't think the original could get any better, Bar's Tale 2 is 50% bigger than the original, has an all-new storyline, and has 6 cities and a huge wilderness to explore. Coming in at number 9, the Kawaii Warriors. This was an all-time favourite of mine because it's a 2-player game. Just think Commando times 2. You're dropped off into a Central American jungle and you can utilise an arsenal of weapons to survive. At number 8, Three Stooges. Moe, Larry, Curly, the Three Stooges, need to raise $5,000 to save an orphanage. Now, depending on how well you do during the game, there are 4 different endings to finish off the game. Coming in at number 7, Sidewinder. The Star Killer base, or the Star Killer space cruiser, is going to destroy the sun, but not unless you can fly through the 6 levels of the space cruiser and destroy it first. number 6, Black Lamp. I love a good platformer. Have you played Black Lamp? Your mission or quest is to collect all the coloured lamps, including the elusive Black Lamp. At number 5, Fire and Forget. With infinite lives, racing around the globe to save the world seems pretty easy, especially since your vehicle is armed with an arsenal. But running out of fuel, this will be your biggest obstacle in this game. And number 4, Buggy Boy. If you had a Commodore 64 in the day, you would have played the excellent arcade conversion of Buggy Boy. If you upgraded later to the Amiga, did you end up playing Buggy Boy? How do the two versions stack up against each other? Let me know in the comments below what you think. And now the top 3 games for September 1988 on the Amiga. Number 3, Football Manager 2. It's more than just a sequel to the very popular Football Manager. It's a total improvement over the very successful original Football Manager game. And number 2, ARG. Similar to Rampage, yet nothing like it. You choose a character of an ogre or a dragon, and you're hunting for an egg hidden within a building. At the end, it's a one-on-one battle. And number 1, FA-18 Interceptor. In this Electronic Arts flight simulator, you can either freestyle, fly around, or fly 6 Cold War missions. In September 1988, this was the best-selling game on the Amiga. So that's the top 10 Amiga games for September 1988, the top 10 selling games that is. Now I've got 90 blank Amiga discs here. So if you're interested in getting one, all you need to do in the comments below, type Amiga disc. If more than 90 people are interested in getting a free disc sent to them anywhere in the world, I'll just do a lucky draw. Otherwise, we'll just send you a random Amiga disc. Could be something special on it. In theory, they're blank discs. Commodore in the movies and on TV. That 70s Show was a series that was set between May 1976 and December 31st, 1979. So eagle-eyed Commodore computer fans might have been surprised to see a Commodore 64 and a Commodore 1702 monitor in Randy Pearson's room as Donna chats to him. Of course, this is 3 to 4 years before Commodore 64 was even released. So the next thing, before I go into the next lot of giveaways, is this red Commodore 64C case that usually sits right there, but I've had a lot of people ask, what's the story of this one here? So this is the Commodore 64 Kickstarter case that came in different colors, I believe, red, blue and black, I believe. The KS64C was the name of it, and it was limited to 500 units. So this was actually molded off the original Commodore 64C molds. A man called Dallas Moore went to an injection molding auction, and this injection molding place, they had the original molds for the Commodore 64C. Now that's pretty amazing, isn't it? It's pretty cool. So he was able to purchase them. Then he raised on Kickstarter $94,000 from 797 backers. I'm got my memory now, but so this is one of the cases from that Kickstarter campaign. So number 216 or maybe 276, I can't remember now. This usually sits over here. So how long have you had your VEC64 from Retro Games Limited? No doubt you've played the games on the console to death, but now what other games can you play? Each month we'll look at the top 10 Commodore 64 games for that month in a particular year, and this month we're looking at September 1988. So let's check out the top 10 Commodore 64 games for September 1988. In September 1988, Bon Jovi releases their fourth album, New Jersey. NASA resumes the space shuttle program 2.5 years after the Challenger disaster. Monkey by George Michael hits number 1 on the US charts and stays there for 2 weeks. And these were the top 10 selling Commodore 64 games according to Gallup UK for the month. Number 10, Sam Fox Strip Poker. Number 9, Steve Davis Snooker. Steve Davis was the world's #1 snooker player when this game was released. And Steve Davis Snooker was the best to date snooker simulator, mainly because it was the second only to be released. At number 8, Bruce Lee. What an awesome game. But you may be surprised to see this 1984 game on the bestsellers list for 1998. And this is because in 1998 it was re-released for £1.99 by Americana. Number 7, Rally Car Driver by Five Ways. This was published by Alternative. It was more than just an arcade game, it was really a rally simulator. Even though it's got very simple graphics, the game needed to be planned out in advance by studying the route map that was included with the game. Of course you never saw this if your game was pirated. Number 6, Frank Bruno Boxing. Originally released in 1985, you know what I mean, Harry, Frank Bruno. This game was similar to Super Punch-Out. You had to beat 8 opponents to win the World Champ title. At number 5, Yogi Bear. Yogi's best friend, Boo Boo, has been kidnapped, and Yogi must travel through 198 screens of Jellystone Park to rescue his buddy. At number 4, Airwolf. I really enjoyed the TV series about a former Vietnam War pilot flying a billion-dollar helicopter, having adventures each week. But when I played the game, man, it was hard. Insanely hard. Frustratingly hard. At number 3, Ace. The US has been invaded by a foreign power, and you have the last 3 aircrafts available to fend off this invader. Admittedly, I have not played this game before, so there's no game footage here. But what did you think of Ace? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments below. At number 2, European 5-Side. The front cover and also the back cover of this game doesn't give away anything about the game. There's no information at all other than the picture of 2 players playing with a soccer ball. This is actually an indoor soccer game, so the ball bounces off the walls. It's quite a lot of fun. And at number 1, Football Manager 2. The sequel was quite controversial for the Commodore 64. Commodore Format rated it number 40 in the all-time top Commodore 64 games, yet Commodore User, another magazine, called it boring and scored it 20%. Might have been a few unusual games in there. Now don't forget, that's not the best games for September 1988, it was the best selling games in retail stores in that month. So that's potentially why you might have thought, what is that game doing there? It's from 1984, for example, and that's the reason why. This big silver suitcase is actually a Commodore 64 carry case. So it has these side latches here. They're awkward with my hand. And top latches. Open up. Then you have the perfect carry case for the Commodore 64. Perfect fit. And it closes up, and then you could go around to your mate's place and unbox it all and play to your heart's content. So by the looks of it, you could actually play your Commodore 64 games while it's still sitting in this carry case. So there's the space for the data set, your power supply, there's space for your cartridge to be able to fit in there, there's room for your cables to come out. So the next giveaway is this Commodore 64 mainboard, PCB, motherboard, whatever you want to call it. It's a 60 clone board from Bob's Bits, and I've got a couple of these. So Bob's Bits sent me one so I can actually make my brand new Commodore 64 build. I've got that beautiful 3D printed bread bin case. I've got all the components. I've got one of these myself. I just haven't had time to actually make it, and also I'll be giving that away free on this channel as well once I've done it. But for now, if you want to get one of these brand new 60 clone boards, I've only got one, this black one here to give away. All you need to do in the comment section below is to type in Bob's Bits. That's the best business name I've ever heard in my life. It's so cool. So Bob's Bits in the comment section below, and if more than one person is interested, I'll just do the lucky draw. So at the end of this video, there's the T's and C's for these prize draws. So make sure you check that out as well. So if you're interested, Bob's Bits in the comment section below. All you need to do is then just populate it with your own components. This at least is the foundation of your next build. Thank you, Bob's Bits, for supplying this. Appreciate it. For the month of September 2022, there were some cool Commodore related videos uploaded to YouTube, and these are my recommendations to watch. 8-Bit Show and Tell's video on the Commodore Max, Gadget UK 164's video on the Commodore Amiga RGB2 HDMI video. The Retro channel does a repair to a Commodore 64 silver label. Retro Recipes does an exclusive review on the new Commodore 64 OS. Yarn Beta checks out the Checkmate A1500. The Retro Man Cave has the legendary Oliver twins in the cave, and Retro Gamer Nation does a roundup of the new Commodore 64 games. So that's the Commodore Computer Show for this month. Hopefully you enjoyed it, hopefully you got something out of it. At the end of next month, I'll do another Commodore Computer Show as well. If I get time, I'll try and do some more videos in between, but until then, we'll see you next time. Thank you.